Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 1 of Fortnightly Frontier, the Star Citizen podcast that talks about, well, Star Citizen and related paraphernalia. I am your host, Darjanator, for the 4th year running, and this is my co-host, Myre.
Hello.
Not for the 4th year running.
Second, I think now.
Probably second, yeah. You'll get there. CitizenCon happened, and we thought that what better time to start a new season than with that.
So, you want to explain to, well, me and also viewers, what exactly does a new season of the Fortnightly Frontier entail exactly?
Well, a slightly different look.
Is that it?
Yeah, basically.
Like,
we have a new overlay, but that's it.
Do we have a new intro?
No.
No?
No.
Do I need to like change how I look? Do I need to? I mean, I didn't get the memo, of course. Like, I didn't get the dress code or anything, but I'm glad that I didn't have to change anything myself.
Nah, we're fine.
All right, awesome.
But speaking of CitizenCon, we're back.
We are back from CitizenCon. I am so jet lagged still. It's been a week.
Yeah, and I actually am sick. I did not get Pax flu or confluenza or however you want to call it.
Confluenza, Pax Pox,
Yes.
Twitch, Pix.
Yeah. It's weird. I was, on a 12-hour flight there and then back and then spending, a week in presence of new people, at events and barbecues and stuff like that. And then I got back and fine. For 2 days, and then I go to the bakery and catch it from the girl that works there or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe you got it all along, but it was just staying latent in your immune system, and then it got triggered by the bakery girl or something.
Are you saying my sickness was jet lagged as well?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
And yeah, CitizenCon happened and it was great.
It was amazing, yeah. So I think we tried to get some stuff prepared for CitizenCon, but unfortunately we had some issues with the
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
All Darj's gear, man. All his gear.
Oh, yeah, the airline lost my luggage. And it wasn't recovered for 2 days, so I went for 2 days without actually being able to record anything or take photos. I could have used my phone, but, that is not why I stuffed my luggage with 2 DSLRs and lenses and microphones so I could take shit with my phone.
Yeah, so unfortunately we didn't get to do an entire, vlog story to show you guys, unfortunately.
We do have a short video of what happened at the actual event, the main event.
Yeah, we can. I could play that if you want right now.
Do it now.
All right, play that. All right, awesome.
Yeah, and it was hot.
Hot?
To begin with, it was hot, and then things happened. And how did you
How did
go through the entire? What was your feelings about the entire event?
The event itself. I loved the entire thing. The entire event was freaking amazing. It was awesome meeting everybody for the first time. Not for the first time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bumping into people like Deltron from chat and stuff like that. They're like, hey,
Sniffle Wizard.
Yeah, Sniffle Wizard,
and
Joker.
Tokyo.
Yeah, like just. It's crazy because it's like you meet people, but at the same time, you're not meeting them because you already know them. Like, you speak to them every single day and stuff like that. It was a weird experience,
Yeah.
But yeah. So you asking me about the actual convention itself or, just the trip? Like, what was the question?
Let's start with the trip then.
All right. Well, the trip was amazing. I mean, you can see everybody in this video hugging each other out and stuff like that. I mean, it was amazing. We got to hang out with the test guys. There's the bar citizens, where all the CIG staff were keeping it real, and it was just a phenomenal event. Everybody had a smile on their face. I mean, there were some rocky moments with tempers and stuff like that. It was hot as hell, and things had to get done. But that only lasted a couple minutes. Apart from that, everybody was just full on smiles the entire time. It was amazing. And yeah.
Yeah. if I could actually take part of any of that when I wasn't stuck at home waiting for the airline to call me about my luggage.
Yeah.
I just did that on the first day.
Mm.
Yeah, it was great. We went to several events. We went sightseeing and we went to barbecues and the bar citizens. There were 2 bar citizens actually. One was at the. Where's my mustard so tickly today?
It's on backwards.
Yeah, this is a detachable mustache. Yeah, I just put it on wrong this morning. One bar citizen was at the Arsenal, and we had one incredibly generous member of organization who bought shots for everybody. And then the next day we went to 33 Taps. That was amazing. That was a fucking good, cool bar, man. Like 2 stories of people and drinks.
It was amazing.
And aptly, they had 33 taps.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was like constant. It was things were happening all the time. You barely had enough time to just sit down and relax.
So what made, like CitizenCon, special for you? What was so amazing about it? To you, what was your highlight of your entire stay there?
Just meeting all the people that you hang out on the internet and watch, and then just suddenly everyone being there in one place. It's literally like your little slice of the internet came to life.
It's pretty overwhelming, to be honest. It was quite crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the highlight of the entire trip for me. I really don't care that it was in LA. It could have been, in was it Doglick, Montana for
Doglick.
That I think that is an actual town called Doglick, in Montana. It could have been held there and it would have been just as epic, but just because of all the people that we were with.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. Yeah, totally.
So next year is going to be in Frankfurt. So it kind of has the same thing.
Frankfurt Doglick, is that it? But I totally agree. I mean, meeting everybody like this was pretty overwhelming. It was, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then the event happened.
Yeah.
And there were mixed feelings about it from some people.
Yeah. Mixed, yeah. It's a pretty mixed bag, indeed. Especially when, he came out saying, yeah, Squadron 42 is not coming out. Well, we're not doing a Squadron 42 thing, even though, in the pre-event that we're giving away, like, Squadron 42 stickers and stuff like that. But, what happened. And, they ended up having to do a Spectrum 30-minute deep dive instead, just to fill time. But I think once we got past that, and we got into the actual kind of presentation where they were showing the whole Homestead demo, I think that even though, we have some people who are like, where's my Squadron 42? To me, it was still a really awesome demonstration of, what they have achieved thus far. And yeah, definitely it was pretty, I thought the entire thing was pretty awesome.
Yeah, me as well. I think some people are forgetting what one of the biggest tenets are for what they signed up for this game, which was to let CIG have time to do things right, to not have them feel like they're rushing towards a set date with something, which I kind of think that these big events sort of are. If you watched the latest ATV episode, the special, Road to CitizenCon video, you kind of have the feeling that everybody was under so much stress trying to get these demos to a certain level of polish.
Yeah.
That it felt kind of like the entire community turned into a publisher that just demands a product by a certain date and doesn't matter what quality it is.
Yeah.
And that really just kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a part of a community that does that.
Yeah.
So I'm not bummed. I do respect the decision of CIG and, well, basically just Chris Roberts to can the Squadron 42 demo.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and as you can see from this whole Road to Citizen Con video, it was very, very high stakes, very, tense the entire way. They were trying their damnedest to actually get this thing out, and it took them until 48 hours before to say, we have to scrap this Squadron 42 presentation because it's not going to be where we want it to be. It's going to be another Moro tour, and whilst the Moro tour was kind of nice, it wasn't great. And they're striving for greatness at this point. But to be honest,
I'd rather have one fully asterisk functional demo, rather than two broken ones.
Definitely, yeah, and but then again, if this whole around the verse video is to be believed, and I do believe them, basically they said that they had to scrap the whole Squadron 42 thing 48 hours before the presentation, which means that the chapter is there, it just needs some polishing, which kind of makes me a bit more hopeful for the anniversary stream, because that's coming out next month, and
it's November, early November.
And with that, I mean, that's the only time they have really to show off what they couldn't show off before, and they have more than 24 hours to freaking polish it to the point where they can actually show it to us. So I'm really hoping that they show it to us then. I can't see any other time when they'll be able to.
Well, they also have the holiday live stream, which is around the big holidays, Christmas and New Year's. But I do believe, because it just seemed like they were just so close to getting it done, so a month is more than enough time to get all that sorted, hopefully.
Oh yeah. So they have next month. They have the Christmas stream,
right?
And then,
something I wanted to ask you. Considering they already knew 48 hours in advance,
right?
Do you think they didn't tell us? Do you think they should have, though?
I think they wanted to get into CitizenCon with a certain frame of mind, both for themselves and for the audience at large. If they were to say, "Oh, we're sorry, this massive piece of the thing isn't going to be there," then we would have gone to that place with a certain frame of mind, as opposed to going there and it was what it was. You know what I mean?
I agree completely. If, it was 2 days before the actual event, we were already in LA.
We were already in LA, exactly.
going to parties and having a blast of a time. If they had posted at the time, "Sorry guys, we won't be giving you the presentation that you were hoping we would,"
it would have been a
that
bummer.
would have it would have affected everybody, not just on their side, but us as well. I think I actually do agree with them to withhold that information. Also, I would just like to say that I would like to hear what you guys have to say about that. So I'm going to put a link in the doobly-doo. The doobly-doo. It's been such a long time since I said that word last.
Not long enough.
Not long enough, no. And I would like to hear your opinion on that. Do you think CIG should have told everyone when they made that decision to can the Squadron 42 demo or not?
I mean, also with that, I think that they really couldn't have shown this around the verse video on the Sunday either, because this video conveys a certain amount of energy that is kind of counterproductive to the energy they were going for the presentation. This is kind of oh my god, we tried so hard, we're sorry. Whereas with CitizenCon, there's more we're trying our hardest, this is all we have. I think that it would have been too much if this was there. I think the reaction and the community-wide response to this video would be different if they showed it to us at CitizenCon. Because at CitizenCon happened. Some people were amazed, some were disappointed, and they left there with their own opinions. And then this video came out, and a few of the people who were really disappointed were like, "Oh, well, boy, don't I feel like a jackass for being so disappointed."
Yeah, I think, and I've said this before, is that the Star Citizen community at large has become quite spoiled with all the amount of information and everything that the developers give us.
Right.
About the development of Star Citizen and Squadron 42. It's really hard to, it's really easy to forget that this is the first game that's ever been done this way.
Exactly.
And you don't get even a tiny fraction of the amount of information that we get from any other development. And still, these people demand more.
Yeah, I mean,
it kind of irks me when that happens, but I think every once in a while it's good to have a reminder of just how lucky we are when it comes to this.
Yeah, I mean, as they say, and they keep beating this old saying, but it's like a game that is released early is forever bad or something like that, or
a rushed game is bad, but a delayed game can be good.
Thank you. It's far too late right now.
Yes.
And
yes. Even I got it wrong. I think it's slightly different, but yes, that was
somebody in chat will have our heads on a platter, that's for sure. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, so what else? I mean,
well, what we did see was freaking cool.
Indeed.
Oh man, that is I loved the my favorite part was the cinematic. Okay, I'm actually using the proper word cinematic this time around because it wasn't at a cinematic frame rate. It was actually
yeah.
What was it? 5 times the frame rate of a normal movie. Like it was 120 frames per second that we saw.
That.
Yeah, the whole swooping in from space into the
seeing exactly what they could do with the technology. And
it's
pretty amazing.
Especially when it was going through the trees in the savannah and you had the sun in the background. It just felt like an intro to a BBC documentary.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember actually showing it off on stream afterwards, I think on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And as like the camera was swooping in, somebody in chat was like, "Oh, well, where are all the trees and stuff?" And then we saw trees, and he was like, "Oh, well, I'll shut up now." It was pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The whole cinematic swoop from orbit into the atmosphere and then all the way to the ground level and through the trees and everything. Yeah, that was my favorite part. It was really fun seeing the gameplay elements, but this actually took my breath away when I first saw it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is just V2.
Yeah, exactly.
Of Planetary demo. I think they still have like 2 or 3 versions to go through before we see what they're actually capable of.
You mean until it's pushed to us, basically?
Yeah. Or at least the final version. I think we'll get to see it before the final version. But there's still some things that need to be sorted out, like tree variety and maybe rivers, and especially the clouds. Because I don't think the weather system's in it yet. I think that's still something they're working on.
The actual dynamic weather system probably isn't there. I mean, like what we saw was a vertical slice of what it could be. Like the actual elements were there, but I don't think they were working in a kind of gameplay. They mentioned in the Reverse the Verse, like the special Reverse the Verse that came out this week, that they want it to be a thing, but as for it actually being there now, I don't think so.
No, well, you could tell that all the clouds that are in right now are just 2D sprites.
Yeah.
Because they do rotate with the camera and the field of view, the viewpoint. I mean, and Aaron Roberts in an interview with Gamers Nexus told Stephen Burke that what they're working on is volumetric technology for the clouds that is going to follow the whole hot and humid and dry and arid areas in the atmosphere that when contacting actually creates weather. Right. And and then what else could there be? You think we'll actually have rain and snow, actual precipitation.
Perhaps, they haven't discounted it, but no one's really asked that question. Like that question wasn't asked. The questions they are asking is, are we gonna have persistent weather effects? They said yes. As for rain, I don't know. Maybe I don't see why not. We saw that like Venusian planet that like at the end of the world building demo at CitizenCon. Acid rain, why not? And the same kind of effects here. Oh, you cannot land in this area because there's acid rain. Why not?
And thunderstorms are actually not that far off, because we had the sandstorm in the Gamescom demo that actually had lightning.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's already part of it. So I don't see why not.
Yeah. All those things could really kind of help for a more FPS. I mean, it'll serve to kind of separate FPS from, FPS on foot to FPS on a ship, because it'll kind of give you these places like stations in a nebula, or planets that are very unstable, as areas where you can only really go and explore on foot, and kind of keeping away larger ships from the battle. So you're gonna need people who are experienced at just FPS stuff in order to do those kind of things.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe just in vehicles, but definitely not air to ground combat. Yeah, that would be far too dangerous.
Yeah. So apart from that awkward pause though, apart from that, what else was there? I mean, we had the reverse the verse, where they answered a ton of questions, actually, some really good ones. So you saw that, right?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I
so
had some of my favorite people there.
Some of your favorite people were there. From that, were there any questions that really struck out to you specifically? Did they answer anything in particular that was good?
Well, I think we already covered that, because we're going, in our discussion, we're just jumping from source to source.
Oh yeah.
But just basically everything that came out of Tony Zurovic's mouth was just gold.
Pretty much, but it was a really good panel, to be honest. I mean, they really went over a lot of good things, so things like instancing, for instance, they touched upon more of that. It's something that people don't really understand what's going on, or people have their own interpretations of what it's gonna be like. It's cool to know that they still have that thing in mind, where they want one super server that's kind of like made out of other, almost like a Frankenstein, really, of other servers kind of like tweened together. And it's, more about this than I do, don't you? I mean, like, in how it works. I mean, do you want to explain that?
Well, sure. So the basic idea is that you have a server that handles a certain amount of people. Just basic interaction between them, and then those servers are talking with each other, and you don't see that. It all happens behind the scenes, and it basically makes it seem as if you are on one huge server with a vast amount of people, but basically what's happening is that you have one big server that just handles communication between servers.
Right.
And it might actually have, those subservers are actually tasked with talking, just making sure other servers are talking to each other. So it could be actually several tiers of this going on, depending on how many people are in a single area of space. But their plan is to have, they were talking about as much as thousands of people in a certain area.
Right. And this will, thousands. Yeah, that's what you said. Like, they use 2,000 as a number. Now, I don't know if they mean like actually 2,000 people standing right next to each other, or like just in a certain sector, or how that would work.
Yeah, probably a sector instead of, occupying a single square in a town.
Yeah.
Because that would probably be quite difficult to achieve. Although, FPS versus ships, you're talking about quite different areas of space when you're talking about, close together. Because if you have just people, you know, that means like a meter or something like that. But for
Yeah.
ships, it's like on a factor of like 10 or even 20 for the size. So even then, they can already start adjusting the LOD. So for the closest LOD, I think for ships, they'll never get over or even close to, let's say, 100 ships.
Yeah.
It's just not possible
Feasible,
from
right?
it's not feasible, not from only from a technological perspective when it comes to server instancing or whatever, but from logistics in space.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because even when you have huge battles between
Yeah.
ships, it's still several kilometers of space, and you don't need to have everything so detailed.
Right. Okay. I think that kind of ties in as well with Subsumption, which they also touched on, because we're going to need these robust servers in order to have this Subsumption system working the way they want it to, which is so for those who don't know, Subsumption is basically how their servers basically monitor the NPCs and monitor their lives and stuff like that, and monitor their decision making, etc. So that whenever you go into a station, you're going into a living, breathing station where the NPCs have been living there, going about their daily 9 to 5s and making decisions as let's say they wake up one day, they want to go to work, they go to work. After work, they they want to go get a drink. Oh no, all the seats in the bar are taken. All right, well, what do I do now? I'm gonna go and go to the store and buy some groceries. And like, oh no, the grocery store's closed. What do I do now? And but not just that, but also this Subsumption will also govern how your NPC crew like act and behave and respond to you. And of course, when you have NPCs on your ship, you're gonna have to pay them a salary. But like if you overwork them, then they might charge more, and like their skills might deteriorate and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Subsumption works both on a macro and a micro level. Both
I think the most people don't realize it, but I think the Subsumption is one of the things that is revolutionary about this game. There's so many things that
are revolutionary.
Yeah. But people who don't follow the development as close as we do just don't realize it. Yeah, it's so huge.
Yeah.
It's probably the only game that will go to such in-depth levels of making it seem like the NPCs that you interact with are actually living their lives.
Yeah.
Like in Skyrim, for instance, you had people who worked, and there was a day-night cycle. So
there was a cycle,
yeah. When you went into your main town, you couldn't actually go to the market because it was closed for the night. But that's basically it. There was a rudimentary day-night cycle, and every NPC had a few scripts, and there was no decision-making when it came to that. It was basically just following a few simple rules.
Yeah. It's awesome to see where they come from there. I mean, another thing they touched upon was some changes to Arena Commander, making it, Arena Commander is meant to be this game within Star Citizen. So, they're talking about ways to make it more fun, more of a pick up and play kind of deal, as opposed to the actual universe where it's more a tougher life. You die for good, son. So, yeah. So
they talked about making it more arcadey.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that it comes from respawning to actually getting pickups from dead enemies.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think about that? I mean, like, are you for those changes or against them?
Yeah, I'm actually for it. Because like they said, it is a game within a game. Yeah. So and it's not just like we're doing all the Inception. It's actually in the lore that it is a video game that people play.
Yeah.
Both for racing and dogfighting and FPS combat.
Yeah.
It's just like you and I would go into, I don't know, play Call of Duty or something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for it, but it was interesting to see the crowd's reaction at CitizenCon, where Chris Roberts was like, "Oh yeah, so with the changes with Arena Commander, we're making it so that you don't always spawn with the full like a complement of missiles." And everyone was like, "Oh no way!" you know. But it's kind of cool. It's awesome that they're going that way. They're thinking about how to make this more of a game, you know, as opposed to people just dumping their missile loads, dying, and then repeating. They want to make it so that, you know, like you may start off with your missiles, but then you have to pick up new ones in order to make it, you know, so that it's not just oh, I'm a gladiator, I have all my missiles, I'm gonna win, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sure, but what else? What else happened?
What else happened from this Reverse the Verse?
Yeah, because I have to admit I was quite tired when I was looking at, so things kind of go in one ear, out the other. You know what it's like.
Okay. They mentioned stuff. They mentioned the Cutlass reworks being available by 3.1. They mentioned, oh yeah, Star Marine. So Star Marine is meant to be coming out in 2.6. However, I mean, and this is something that I know there have been some other citizens who have been more vocal about it. They're like, oh, the AI during the CitizenCon thing is poop. You know, like they were just standing there shooting blanks or whatever. So they've actually mentioned that there isn't going to be any FPS AI in 2.6, at least not in its first iteration. And I think, you know, it stems down to the fact that the FPS AI is still early doors. I mean, we've had spaceship AI for a long time, and you know, they're working on that and, you know, making that more nuanced and stuff like that. And as we go on, that will be better. And you know, we have an entire chapter of Squadron 42 that's supposedly out. So if FPS AI isn't there yet, then exactly what were they going to show us during this CitizenCon thing? Obviously,
yeah, exactly.
That chapter is going to be a whole lot more spaceship oriented, I assume. You know, which I don't mind, but that just I'm just speculating here, of course. But it kind of means that FPS.
It's probably all bundled in after a single module within the code for the AI, and so which is also why 2.6 won't have it, because they're still waiting for 3.0 release for the entire AI subsumption thing. And I think also for combat in Star Marine, it's also governed by the same logic,
right?
Well, not the same logic that a Marine and a bartender would have, but you know, the same system that governs their logic,
right?
But yeah, 2.6, I think, is around the corner, and I am looking forward to kicking your ass in it, my good friend.
Please no. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, apart from that, they answered a couple other questions in the Reverse the Verse, but nothing
that new, nothing that we didn't already know about.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, apart from that, a couple other things that happened this week. It's been a huge week of news, I guess. You know,
it has been, and we've all been so jet lagged that it's so hard to actually keep up with everything. I'm sure that if we hadn't gone to CitizenCon, we'd be a lot more on it this episode. But you know, what can you do?
All right. So yeah, I mean, Star Citizen has made $10 million in the past 60 days, with them making 1.6 million or something around that number in the first day of that whole Polaris sale, which kind of makes it one of its more successful periods, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody was wondering whether the amount of money coming into CIG for funding is going to go down, well, there's your answer.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they're in trouble at all.
No, I mean, some of the less vocal naysayers are like, oh yeah, it's a cool idea, but eventually that money will run out. But they don't really seem to understand that money has, that funding has never dipped. It's not like there's ever been like a static cap to the amount of funding that Star Citizen has had, and I don't think that's really going to go anywhere. I mean, like, just look at the Polaris sale. I mean, hopefully they don't go and sell every single other ship. I mean, I know the F8 Lightning is something that they mentioned they may sell, but they're looking into it because, it's like one of the most OP ships in the game. How do you go about selling a ship like that? Do you only sell 50 and let 50 citizens be the most overpowered people in the verse? I mean, like, where do you draw the line? But, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But then again, Star Citizens are very generous people.
Indeed, yeah. Speaking of the Polaris, though, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Polaris, dude? Like,
My thoughts on the Polaris. It's a cool looking ship, no doubt. I think it's like the most futuristic looking ship they've released. More something that's more along the lines of what you would think of as a spaceship instead of just a plane in space.
Oh
like,
yeah, totally.
Like the Gladius and the Hornet are basically just planes in space.
Exactly. Yeah. I see what you mean. The actual space like ships, stations almost like like a more what is it? More Enterprise, less Firefly, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't think it's for me.
Oh yeah,
It's a very military, very combat oriented ship.
it is. That's its
don't
role.
want to go. Yeah. And that is not a role that I want to pursue in Star Citizen.
Yeah, I mean, in the Q&A, it was like one of the big questions was like, why should I get this ship? I mean, sure, it's pound for pound is better than a Retaliator, but if I wanted to use it for anything other than bombing, I'm going to be shooting myself in the foot because a Starfarer has more cargo and all this and that the other. I mean, it does look like a cool ship though. I mean, like, yeah,
very
sure.
cool.
Like, you can transport your racing ships to different racetracks in style with that thing. But, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I saw a comparison video, like a size comparison video of the cargo hold, and you can fit like 20 dragonflies in the hold.
Yeah.
It's, if you wanted to do that, but you could do that with like a Starfarer or like anything else, But it's a nice ship. It's what
it's a nice looking ship. Although I do wish, well, that they would release a civilian version of that. That's not all about gunpowder.
I mean,
or firepower.
I mean, it is. I guess it's not even a watered down civilian ship. I mean, on the whole UEE, whatever they called it now. I mean, it's meant to be designed in such a way that they can, for both military and civilian use. It'd be nice to see larger craft that are strictly civilian, but then at the same time, they wouldn't really have that much military like things going for them, like weapon placements, for instance. They'd be kind of just sitting ducks, and would you really want to fly a sitting duck? I mean, it might look cool, but it'd just be a sitting duck.
Should I rename my character the sitting duck then? Because it does have like 4 turrets, but that's about it.
I mean,
it doesn't have torpedo tubes and like this one has.
Yeah, I mean, but size-wise, though, I mean, like, how big is your Carrack compared to the Polaris?
It's not that much smaller. It's 123 meters versus 155
for
the Polaris.
All right, in that case, yeah, there you have it. I mean, it'd still be a nice ship to fly. I mean, like that, as well as the exploration variants of the Constellation and stuff like that. But as you get larger with ships and they become just like castles, they have more of a military focus, I feel. I mean, like having a large civilian ship doesn't make too much sense to me.
Well, I suppose that all depends on the setting that you're in and the entire UEE, the Empire versus the Vandal does paint a very combat-oriented universe that we're living in, not a pacifistic one. So I suppose I do get your point. If we were if this was like the Star Trek universe, well, where staying in the Alpha Quadrant at least doesn't really mean that you'll be getting into combat every single day. Then I suppose you could get away with a non-combat ship. We'll see. We'll see whether I'll need to go around in an escort every time I go out in my Carrack.
I mean, in this kind of universe, I could see NPCs having random like classes of ship and random types of ship that a player captain would be like, I could own one just so I have one, but I would never fly one. You know what I mean? But as for
unless it had LTI,
exactly, yeah. But as for practicality, I don't know. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, because for instance, if you had a hull E, that is a big that is a big sitting duck of a ship.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah, but you would only use that. Yeah, you would only use that for just transporting cargo from one safe planet to another safe planet.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You wouldn't really get into problems unless pirates.
Yeah, very ballsy pirates. But I mean, that's like the other end of the. I mean, that's a huge, like ship that serves a massive purpose. It's not just a big ship for no real reason. It's a big ship that has tiny ass quarters, but you can like feed an army of 1,000,000 for like a month, you know?
Yeah. Well, and then the Carrack, for instance, is meant to go where no man has gone before, because its primary job is to look for jump points.
Right.
And that one is still a huge ship that's kind of a sitting duck that's going away from protected UEE space.
Yeah.
So you would need, escort. We'll see. Actually, we're just speculating at this point. We'll see what actually happens when the full game is out.
Exactly.
Because it's gonna take a while until we get one extra system to play with, not just Stanton.
For sure. But the Stanton system is getting larger and larger I'd say every day. I mean, like, I'm not a dev, but I'm sure it's getting larger every day for them. But yeah. We have Microtech coming out.
We have the entire system. Currently, we are just stranded in a small area around Crusader, but in 3.0 they're going to be opening up the entire system.
The entire system, yeah.
Be a lot of play area.
Yeah, so we have all the moons, all the planets, and then random locations they could make on a whim in the belt as well. So
like 40 plus locations where you could land and dock, and
So all in all, I mean, like they did mention that if you wanted to, and they see this happening for a lot of players, most of their playtime will be spent in one system. You could spend 100 to 1,000 hours doing all the quests and missions in one system. You could actually kind of make your own kind of community within that one system, and then when an outsider comes to your system, they're kind of like treated as aliens, and like the whole game dynamic changes. That's an interesting precedent though for people who want to play as explorers as opposed to people who want to play as economists or just fighters. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Chris Roberts was talking about. Not instead of having millions of systems with maybe 1 or 2 points of interest in it. They want to have huge living systems, that you could actually think, this planet actually contains an entire civilization I can interact with, not just a few key people.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that covers all the news for the past week anyway. I mean, like
it's been a busy week.
It's been crazy.
Really busy week. Yeah. And I'm tired, so
I'm pretty beat too.
So I think we should be wrapping this episode up for now.
All right. Okay.
This was the the first episode of season 4 of Fortnightly Frontier, with a new design and new cast. Wait, what? And everything, and hope you liked it, and thank you for tuning in both on Twitch and YouTube. And if you're only doing it on one of those places, do check out the other one, it's really fun. And this has been it from me and Myre, and we will see you in the verse.